Trussell and Dave Brown, and we're right along ringside. Son of a gun, I like it. We got 2 6-man. Is that what you told me?
That's right. 2 6-man tag team matches on the card today. First, we got Bill Dundee and Todd Morton coming in a tag team match. Rock and Roll RPMs will be here a little bit later on, as will Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden. They'll be in the ring, too. Jeff Jarrett will be here, teamed with Nature's Best in one of those 6-man matches. And in the other one, we'll have Brickhouse Brown, Scott Steiner, and Brian Lee on one side of the ring. On the other, we'll have Gary Young, Cactus Jack, and Phil Hickerson. Get ready for that one, huh?
Is that going to be some... Ooh. Hey, listen, in addition to that, Davey, we're going to tell them some information that has to do with the tournament and the World Tag titles. All of that coming up in not too many minutes from right now. Take time out. Be back in action in a moment. With promoter Eddie Marlin. And Eddie, it's always a pleasure to have you out here. I wanted to get some comments from you in regards to a situation that happened in Lewisburg, Tennessee, and then a big announcement that you've got coming up.
That's right. In Lewisburg, they had a title match. The referee got knocked down 2 or 3 times, and the other referee came to the ring, and he seen fit to hold the belt. If you got a little piece of tape, if you show the tape, I think that'll do a lot better than me standing here trying to talk.
Yeah, we've got some of the end of it. Looking at that, there's no way in the world to tell really who won it.
That's right, and another thing it didn't show on the tape, I was hoping it would, the referee that was in the ring calling the match was knocked down 3 or 4 times. And at the time of the double pin, he was knocked down, so the other referee, Frank Morrell, came down and he held up the belts. Now, both teams claimed that they won the belts. And like you say, you can't tell who won the belt.
Really?
So I figured the best thing to do is have a tournament. And anytime we have a tournament, you know, we get a lot of top names that come in because CWA tag belts, everybody wants them. So we got a big tournament. The winner will be crowned at the night of the match, Southern Tag Team Champions, CWA Champions. But the big prize, they'll also receive a shot at the World Tag Team titles.
All right. So that means that the winner of the CWA Tag Tournament is automatically assured of getting a crack at the world belt.
Right. The winner of the tournament that night will be the CWA Tag Champions with the shot at the World Tag belt.
Sounds like actually an excellent solution to me, Eddie, and we're looking forward.
Both these teams will have a shot at it.
Okay, they're going to be in it without a question of a doubt. Thank you, Eddie Marlin. All right, we're about ready to get up to the ring for the action and take a look at least one of the teams that will be involved in that tournament. No question about that. And we're making reference, of course, to Bill Dundee. Coming out right now, Dave, the first of the team.
That's right. Climbing up into the ring, it's the 2 Keiths out of Memphis, Tennessee, Keith Eric and Keith Robertson. They weigh in at a total of 469. Across the way at a total of 414 pounds out of Bardstown, Kentucky, Todd Morton. And from Australia, the superstar, Bill Dundee. This match 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee's Jerry Calhoun.
Okay, it'll be Keith Eric starting against the superstar, Bill Dundee.
Dundee against Eric. Eric has really put on some weight over the years. When we first saw him here, he weighed about 182. He's now up very close to the weight of Dundee. As a matter of fact, he weighs a little bit more than Dundee, I think. That's Todd Morton in. Morton with a drop kick. Not the greatest drop kick. He didn't get the full extension there, but he did get Keith Eric knocked off his feet. That's what counts. He bars the arm. And Todd Morton has the advantage on the hole.
Talking about weight, Keith Roberson has been, he's been big ever since we've seen him. He never was little.
No, he's huge. That's right. That's solid. Eric off the ropes. Double backdrop. They flip him over. Dundee covers, counts one, and that's all they get, a one count. Keith Eric still alive. Dundee again with a cover. Didn't have him in good pin position that time. Eric had a shoulder up. The referee didn't start the count.
Hey.
Robertson steps through the ropes. Robertson, bigger than Eric. He's in the in that 243 area of weight.
Yeah, he, without a question, is the biggest man of the four involved in the tag match. There's a double whip into the rope. Whoa, nice double elbow.
And a cover.
Noticing that Morton and Dundee are working better all the time. Billy, of course, trained Todd Morton, so you would expect that a lot of his style comes out of Dundee, and they are working really well. He is in trouble now, but look at him fight back. That's reminiscent of his teacher.
Boy, it sure is. He caught a right fist right upside the face, but he just came right back at Robertson. Double drop kick, and down to the mat the big guy goes. Dundee picks him up by the left arm, puts a half twist on it, sends him over to the corner, and the tag on Keith Eric.
Eric immediately dead straight ahead at Dundee. Look at Billy whip him around in a corner, chopping him away on Keith Eric as the referee says, get him off the rope. Dundee into it, lost his footing, but you notice how the veteran changed it in. 1, 2, 3, got him!
Well, it's the mark of a veteran wrestler, as you say.
You bet.
Boy, it didn't work as his foot slipped off the rope, but he immediately caught Eric by the legs, dropped his legs out from under and put him down and held him for a 3 count. Dundee and Todd Morton get the win in 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
Beautiful, taking advantage of the situation, Billy. We were just talking about when the foot slipped and you couldn't fly in fresh, you went for that double leg, and that's a sign of a veteran who knows how to do it.
Must be getting old, Lancer. Doesn't usually happen that way. And something else that doesn't usually happen is when you think you got a victory, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm not blaming the referee. As far as I know, he got knocked down 3 times. And as that tape proceeded, he didn't know who he counted out.
That's true.
It's a horrible job officiating anything, because there's always somebody thinks you made the wrong decision.
And particularly a tag match, Bill. That's
right.
Even worse.
Well, Todd Morton and Bill Dundee doesn't think that. We ain't crying over no spilt milk. We're in the tournament, and I hope the RPMs make it till the end. Thank you.
Well, we're going to be looking forward. Good luck, Todd. You're looking great these days, and I'll tell you, they are looking very, very good as a tag team. Superstar had an afterthought in there. Wait a minute.
Sure did. When we win this tournament, and then we wrestle the world's champions, this will be the youngest world's champion in history.
Okay, and you notice the pride that he takes, and justifiably so, too. Okay, timeout right now. We've got plenty of it. Remember, 2 6-man tag action bouts coming up, and we'll be to action in just a moment. Okay, we got big action for you. By golly, we're going to be back into it in just a moment, but I want to tell you all about the action coming Wednesday right there in Evansville Coliseum. Man, I mean a dandy of a night. Can you picture this? A one-night tournament to establish a new CWA tag title team. Yes, sir, that's exactly what's going to be happening. The title is open and flying and up for grabs, and we're looking forward to seeing that action, too. Bill Dundee and Todd Morton, the RPMs, Nature's Best, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, Jeff Jarrett, Brickhouse Brown, Phil Hickerson, Mean Mike Miller will be in it, Gary Young, Cactus Jack, lots of action in the tag tournament. And then a final match that'll have Jerry Lawler defending against who else but Wildfire Nature Boy Buddy Landell. Here's a wild man, you better believe it.
All right, Jerry Lawler, it's the Nature Boy Buddy Landell, a name that is very familiar to you, okay? Now, the thing is that you've been running around the country with that belt, and you won it fair and square. I saw the match. I was there at ringside when you won it. But the thing is, you've been wrestling these chumps with no reputations and all that kind of stuff like that, and been avoiding the big-time main event stars like the Nature Boy Buddy Landell, Tommy Rich, and the list goes on and on. But I got news for you, Jerry Lawler. you screwed up. You thought you were being a little bit too cocky, and you accidentally, I think it was an accident, you signed a contract to wrestle with Nature Boy Buddy Landell. So what's going to happen? Let me give you a brief rundown. You're going to walk to the ring. You're going to be overconfident. The Nature Boy Buddy Landell's been training like a wild man for a shot like this to get back on top in the wrestling world, to get some credibility back in the Nature Boy Buddy Landell. Jerry Lawler, then I'm going to lock up with you, slam you, take it home, baby, and I'm going to be the new world heavyweight champion.
Yes, Buddy Landell, old nemesis of Jerry the King Lawler, and they'll be getting it on Wednesday night in the Coliseum along with that tag tournament. You be sure and be there.
Ever held what are you talking about, Lance? You know what, Lance? The Rock and Roll RPMs have held the Southern Tag Team Championship more than any tag team in the history of this organization. And every time, the promoters and the commissioners are just trying to get those titles away from the RPMs because they're afraid that there is no team ever going to come along from anywhere going to take the titles away from Mike Davis and Tommy Lane. Well, you know what? I don't care because there's going to be a tournament. We're just going to prove how good the RPMs are because Downtown Bruno's going to sit there in his chair and the RPMs are going to get in the ring with every tag team that comes along to fight, and they're going to beat them. And we hope, and I don't know why I would say something like this about a team that has two weak links, Bill Dundee and Todd Morton, is probably impossible. But I hope you two punks make it to the finals so the RPMs can beat up on you one more time. And then somewhere down the line,
the thing about it is, Lance, it don't matter. The promotion comes out here and feels like they got to do this. Well, it don't matter. It don't matter if there's 100 tag teams in it because the RPMs is going to be standing at the top. And we hope that Dundee and Morton is right up there with you so we can beat you in front of everybody and show you. It don't matter who it is. We're going to go through them like a dose of salt going through a widow woman. So what I'm telling you is, it don't matter. You line up, you stack up, you come out there, whatever you want to do. When it's all over, the RPMs will be the Southern Tag Team Champions again.
You know, it's just like we've always said. When you say tag team wrestling in the CWA, right behind the tag team champions, you say the RPMs. And by golly, we've won them 7 times, 8 times. We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it forever.
Lance, don't forget, after the tournament's all over and all the dust clears out, the World Tag Team titles is down the line, brother. And we want them, and we're going to get them because Mama says, Lance, it be that way sometimes.
Yeah, well, all of that is in the future. We got plenty of...
Ring the bell. Do your job, Lance Russell. Ring the bell.
Get out of here, Bruno.
We got to... What? You got to show me some respect, Lance Russell. I deserve your respect.
We got a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match going here, and that's Chris Frazier in the ring right now. He's from Mississippi. His partner, Randy Foster, out of Jackson, Tennessee. They are going against the Rock and Roll RPMs, Mike Davis and Tommy Lane. There's a double team by the RPMs, and Chris hits the mat.
Here we go. Pulling hair. Come on now. Hey, if Jeff Jarrett or Jerry Lawler or Nature's Best or Dundee or Morton or one of these guys, Scott Steiner, they do what you call a teamwork. When the RPMs work together, you call it double teaming. Come on now, there's a double standard.
That's the way you see it, Bruno. That isn't the way we call it. Good snap suplex on Chris Frazier as he was popped over by Davis. Tommy Lane in with a foot, and they are, of course, the heavy favorites, and they at the moment dominating the match, Dave.
They are indeed. Chris Frazier has just made the tag on Randy Foster. Randy out of Jackson, Tennessee. Has good weight on him. He's a young wrestler, though. Look at the RPMs working over. Snapping. Using the ropes. Mike Davis
outside the ring.
Yes, sir.
Oh, come on. You know what? The thing I noticed about Dave Brown is he never stops running his mouth and he never says anything intelligent. If you want to hear something intelligent, if you want to hear about the stud stable, then listen to the official stabilizer of the stud stable, Downtown Bruno Hickerson. I'd like to say hi to my daddy Phil out there. I know he's listening. And right here you got the greatest tag team in the history of professional wrestling, the Rock and Roll RPMs. They have held the CWA Southern Tag Team title more than any team in the history of professional wrestling.
Wrong.
What do you mean wrong? Who else held it more than the RPM?
Lawler and Dundee for one, just to mention.
Oh, come on now, Lance. I don't believe it for a minute. The RPMs are the greatest tag team in history. Mike Davis and Tommy Lane, and you know all the time, here and there, near and far, Downtown Bruno Hickerson going to be there looking good, standing in the corner.
Oh, what a suplex on that guy. And I mean to tell you, Lane, give him credit. He picked the big kid up and popped him all the way over. Mike Davis in right now.
Pulling hair.
Yeah.
The tournament's going to be this easy, too. We're going to have them belts again. Taking them away from us don't matter. It's a mere formality, a technicality, because the Rock and Roll RPMs are going to have those belts because they feel naked without the belts. And I feel naked when I ain't carrying them belts around. And I feel like I ain't saying a complete sentence when I say Rock and Roll RPMs, and I don't say CWA Tag Team Champion. But it's a mere technicality. And pretty soon, them belts will be right back where they belong. Coming home to the Rock and Roll RPMs.
Head right into the foot of Mike Davis as Tommy Lane slammed him in, made the tag, and they're going after Foster. Look at this. Hooks those arms and snaps him over, so the RPM's just showing their superiority. But now there's no excuse in that, Dave.
No, picked him up, wouldn't go for a pin. There's a tag made. Here's Tommy Lane coming in after the tag. He covers, counts. Well, he got to a 2 count, and then he picked him up.
No, the guy kicked out. I guess he's tough is what it is. No, we would never keep on beating the guy after he's already been.
No, never. They just knocked him out of the ring down on the floor. Mike Davis picking him up on the floor, and he body slams him right on that concrete there.
Randy Foster being slammed around by both of the RPMs, and because of his size, they seem to be taking particular delight in being able to bump him around and slam him all over, Dave.
Well, sure. Why don't you say, Bruno, why don't you ever ask me a question, Lance, huh? You're always talking to Dave over
You're supposed to be over in the chair at ringside, Bruno, and it'd be a very good spot for you. Double clothesline. Foster is down on the mat. Here comes Mike Davis up on the second rope. He dropped down and hammered him hard.
So make a statement to what you just said, Lance. I think you and Dave need my help over here an awful lot more than the RPMs need my help over there right now, because we need some competition. We can't wait for that tournament. We're out here. We're tuning up. We're getting ready for the tournament. See?
That's all.
Just like the
4
tournament.
minutes, 13 seconds. Randy Foster is pinned finally by Tommy Lane and Mike Davis. Rock and Roll RPMs get the win. They could have gotten it 2.5 minutes ago if they had gone for the cover at that time. They just wanted to beat up somebody, and they did it today on Randy Foster and Chris Frazier.
The walls are shaking, the earth is quaking, and standing tall is going to be your new champion,
makes them bigger guys when they get out there and beat up on some kid like that. Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Timeout. Be back in a moment. Going to run over that card coming up for you in Evansville Wednesday night in just a moment, but I want to remind you that on Thursday, November the 3rd, Ramsey, Indiana. Look out, championship wrestling coming your way, Ramsey, at the North Harrison High School. You can get a buck off on your tickets in advance. Thursday, November the 10th, Owensboro, Kentucky at the Davies County High School, sponsored by the Athletic Boosters, and again, you can save a buck by getting the tickets in advance. Thursday, November the 3rd, Ramsey, Indiana. Thursday, November the 10th, Owensboro, Kentucky. Wednesday night, Evansville, Indiana. Goodness gracious, what a night of action it's going to be. A CWA tag tournament, one night. Champion will be established Wednesday night. Some of the teams, Gary Young and Cactus Jack, Phil Hickerson and Mean Mike Miller, Jeff Jarrett, Brickhouse Brown, Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golden, Nature's Best. That's Bill and Daryl Justin, Bill Dundee, Todd Morton, and then the Lawler match against Buddy Landell. The head honchos of the Stud Stable, Tennessee Stud himself, Robert Fuller, and Jimmy Golden.
Yeah, you know, I'm back from a famous campaign of whooping little children's tails. I'm talking again about that Jeff Jarrett that I took that boy in the ring. He had my boot on. He had it all loaded up, and I blasted him, baby. And down he went on that mat in a puddle of blood, and I put the boot through him, Daddy. And when I got done with him, I unlaced that boot real nice. I put it on my boot, and I covered him 1, 2, 3. It was a piece of cake.
Yeah, Robert, I hate to mention it, but as I look at you on the monitor in there, it looks like somebody else did a little beating
well, you
up.
know what?
Look at that eye here, black and blue, all busted up in there.
I don't guess you're trying to say Jarrett done it to me. I was wheeling down Franklin Lane the other day in Nashville in my Porsche, and this goofball run me off the side of the road, and I had a little accident. But besides that, baby, I'm back 100%. I'm walking just a straight line down the street now because my leg's got what it needs on it, baby, and that's that boot. You know, I had to take a little lead out of the toe of that thing because Jarrett had some alterations done to it, but now they're all cleared up. The levelizers are straightened out again, and we're looking forward to this big tag tournament.
I'm telling you,
it's going to be a big one,
no
Daddy.
doubt in my mind in the future we're going to be the world's tag team champions. First of all, we're going to take those Southern belts, and then we get our shot at the world's tag team. And, brother, this is it. You're looking at it right now. The cream of the crop will always rise to the top. No doubt in my mind that's us, the Tennessee Stud and Jimmy Golden, brother.
Hey, maybe you guys hadn't thought about something. Let me ask you, you know, there are at least 2 other stud stable teams. The RPMs are going to be in there. Cactus Jack and Gorgeous Gary Young. What happens if you guys happen to end up being them?
Just like I said, brother, we run the stud stable, brother. There's no doubt in my mind it would be a clean, scientific match. None of us would be cheating at all out there, but we will be the winners. They can bring the belts out here and put them on us right now.
Well, if you don't mind, we'll have the tournament before we crown you all a champion. Is that
Listen,
okay?
baby, the South is going to rise again. I'm talking about the Southern belts are going to mean something again because they're going to be on the hottest cousin tag team of all time. Gentleman Jim and the Tennessee Stud. We're going to be walking tall when we get them belts on.
Well, there they hear it. I'll tell you one thing. If confidence was money in the bank, these guys wouldn't have to do anything in the world because they got all the confidence in the world, David.
You got that right. They're climbing up there now to a one-fall 15-minute time limit match. They're going to be going against a team that has a total weight of 442 out of Halls, Tennessee, Rodney Napper, and out of Arkansas, Alan Reynolds. Going against them at a total of 492 out of Montgomery, Alabama, Jimmy Golden. And out of Knoxville, Tennessee, the Tennessee Stud, Robert Fuller. Sylvia's in the corner. Bruno's all over the place. Jerry Calhoun's the referee.
Downtown Bruno and Sylvia on the outside. As Napper, a very stocky, strong young man, trying to pull Robert Fuller down to his size. Fuller gets over and makes a tag on Golden. And good night, a double clothesline turned him over, David.
Yeah, they just about flipped him 360 degrees with that one. Jimmy Golden with a backdrop, big, powerful backdrop, and Napper hits hard on the mat.
I ain't no weasel. These people are calling me a weasel. I'm not a weasel, Lance. I'm not a weasel. I'm out here with the 2 premier wrestlers in the country today. Robert Fuller, the Tennessee Stud, and Jimmy Golden. These 2 guys are the greatest, the most polished tag team in professional wrestling. They're cousins, they're blood, and they're part of the Stud stable, and I'm happy to be in their company, Lance. The Stud stable. Robert and Jim.
You may have a little trouble with your loyalty come tournament time because there's several stud stable teams in there, and that could prove to be very interesting, Dave, as to how that goes.
Good indeed. They could beat up on each other and leave the door open for who knows what.
That's exactly right.
Dissension within the state.
No. But woo! What a drop kick. I'll agree with that. Jimmy Golden just about turned the lights out on Rodney Napper, and then he goes over and smacks Alan Reynolds right upside down. Look at Fuller. Yeah, he took out the alterations. Definitely. You saw him loading that boot up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, great. Well, I mean, I really didn't expect anything other than that from Fuller. As Golden with a contemptuous stroll right over the midsection of Rodney Napper. And Napper is down in what kind of time?
Time was 1:30 seconds, and once Fuller kicked him with that boot, no doubt Napper was not going to get up from that one. Fuller and Golden win it.
You got that right. He turned out the lights in a hurry when he kicked him with that boot. But you noticed he loaded it up. I don't care what he had to say. Timeout back. We've got 2 6-man matches to go.
An exciting new tag team in the area, the Justin Brothers, Nature's Best, and Lance is with them right now.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. The Justin Brothers, Darrell and Bill, have been thrown right in the middle of one of the biggest, and that's the CWA tag title. Darrell, it puts you in there, high cotton. I got to tell you, you guys are not the favorites, and I think you know that.
Well, Mr. Russell, we're inexperienced, but we've been training hard in the ring, and we really train hard in the gym, and we're just luck's on our side. Maybe we'll pull it through.
Well, hi, golly, Bill, I'm just wishing you a lot of luck in there because I know everybody, they love to see you guys in action. You're very fast, but you're going against some tough guys. You got Fuller and Golden in the first round.
Oh, yeah. L.A. Dodgers went against some tough guys, and nobody expected them to do what they done.
You're right about that.
All
okay.
right.
Good luck to Nature's Best, Bill and Darrell Justin. Thanks, guys. We got you out in the ring in there as a big six-man match will be coming up right now. Back to Dave.
All right, here come the Justins right now, stepping up on the ring apron, and Jeff Jarrett, their partner with them. Going against them, it's going to be the Executioner and Rough and Ready. Boss Winner will be in their corner. Their total weight, 666 pounds. Across the ring, it's 638 pounds total weight. Jerry Calhoun will be refereeing a six-man tag team match. And here we go. Jeff Jarrett starting against Ready of the team of Rough and Ready. Jeff wraps up Reddy's arm, fires him across the way. Boss Winner was talking to the crowd there, and he almost ended up with Reddy in his lap. He was startled as he looked up and saw Reddy bouncing off the rope. Boss Winner, the manager of Rough and Ready. Darrell Justin taking
I
it
feel
down
like
to the
telling him why he's
Yeah, that's true. Oh, me. Here's Bill Justin coming in. The Justin brothers, nature's best. They double up. And Reddy comes bouncing off of there. There's a cover. They're over close to the ropes, but Reddy is able to break out of it before the count of three. He's back to the corner and makes the tag on the Executioner. Executioner. Ooh, he caught Bill Justin with the upper arm as Justin came off the rope. Justin hanging on with a headlock. Executioner turns it to his advantage, and he got a 2 count. But that's all, just a count of 2. Executioner with a chop. He was going for the throat. He hit her in the shoulder. It can still do damage. Bill Justin coming off the rope. Double team by Reddy and the Executioner. Reddy with a cover. Count of 1.5. Really, Justin had broken out of it before the count of 2 hit the mat. There's the tag, and this will be Rough coming in of the Rough and Ready team.
Yes, sir. And Bill Justin is been wrapped around pretty good in there. Took an elbow right there, but physically is in such good shape, Dave, that it's a great plus when you have the conditioning that he and Darrell and truly the Jeff Jarrett. There's the tag on Jeff. Now.
Jarrett won it in there, too. Hey, he got Boss Winner. Boss Winner had stepped up on the apron, and Jeff nailed him. Everybody in the ring. Somebody got kicked out of there. That was the Executioner. Rough and Ready, rather, is out of the ring. Rough is still in there. Now he comes out of the ring on his own. And the team of the Justin brothers and Jeff Jarrett have cleared the area there.
Referee says the winners, Jarrett and the Justin.
I missed the pin. I'm sorry. I didn't see
happened.
it there.
1, 2, 3. And Jarrett and the Justins came through with a win over Rough and Ready, and the Executioner in there. We had a big, important decision that's going to affect some professional wrestling, and that is an event that's going to be coming up in the not-too-distant future. We thought you might enjoy sitting in and taking a look at it. Let's go to it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, some of the greatest names in the sport of professional wrestling gathered right here at the historic Hermitage Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. Allow me to introduce them, if I may. Vern Gagne, the promoter of the Chicago show, Super Clash 3, is with us. To Mr. Gagne's left, Jerry Jarrett, the promoter of CWA. Next to Jerry is the AWA heavyweight champion of the world, Jerry the King Lawler. Right in front of me, from Powerful Women of Wrestling, Mr. David McLean. Right across from David McLean, Frank Dusek, the matchmaker of World Class Championship Wrestling. Next to Frank is the champion of World Class Championship Wrestling, Kerry Von Erich. Next to Kerry, we have John Corcoran, the promoter of the Northeast United States. Next to Mr. Corcoran, the president of the AWA, Stanley Blackburn. And next to Mr. Blackburn, from the firm of Ryan & Ryan, Bob Ryan. He is the legal counsel of Super Clash 3. Let me move down to the end of the table now. And Vern, if we can get a little information from you as the promoter of this spectacular event.
Well, I am proud and happy to announce the event will be December 13th in the Windy City of Chicago. And I think it'll be one of the great historic events for professional wrestling that's ever been held. I've been in wrestling a long, long time, but this event
was harder to put together than anything I've ever had to do or tried to do in my life, and Stanley Blackburn will attest to that. But again, quickly, I'm just delighted that it's happened. It's all together, and we're ready to go, and it's going to be a big one.
Well, judging from the representation of the organizations here, it is already setting up to be indeed a super clash. And to that point, let me move to Jerry Jarrett. Jerry, I know you got a phone call and a wire already this morning.
That's right. On behalf of CWA, we're looking forward to being a part of the biggest event ever in professional wrestling. We have confirmation from David Woods with Continental that they'll be on board, be a part of this big event. And then we got a wire from the Japan Wrestling Group that they also will be a part, which truly makes it a worldwide event.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Let me move down to the heavyweight champion of the world, the man who holds the AWA belt, Jerry the King Lawler. Pretty exciting, champ.
Well, it's very exciting. You know, in the past, promotions of these types have only been a one-company promotion. This is the first time that it's truly a worldwide, just about all the major organizations are included. And the name of the AWA World Heavyweight Champion is already on the dotted line, open to any and all comers from any and all organizations.
All right, champ, thank you very much. Let me move down to David McLean, the man behind Powerful Women of Wrestling, and your involvement in this, David.
Lee, we're just so tickled to death to be involved and have the #1 ladies wrestling organization involved in this super extravaganza.
David, thank you very much. Let me sneak out here behind our sign and catch up with Frank Dusick from World Class Championship Wrestling. And I know, Frank, you worked real hard to get this put together.
We sure have. World Class Championship Wrestling has always prided itself on what we call our open door policy. Anyone was always welcome. You don't know how good it makes us feel to see all the major promotions in the United States and around the world taking up the challenge. We're here to be a part.
Well, I know that a man that's come here to be a part of it, the heavyweight champion of the world from World Class Championship Wrestling, Kerry Von Erich, and I know you're excited, Kerry.
That's right, but you know, when they say clash, that's exactly what they mean, because this is a clash of all organizations, but this is the biggest, and in my opinion, the best that's ever been put together. And I would also like to state that my name is on the dotted line for anybody who wants to sign for this belt.
John Cochran, I know you've come all the way here from New England representing the Northeast United States, and your involvement in this has been absolutely amazing.
That's right, Lee. We're looking forward in the Northeast to promoting this event, to being a part of it. It's going to be happening in Chicago, and we'll be there.
Great. A man that you've been hearing a lot about, the man who is the president of the AWA, Stanley Blackburn. Stanley, congratulations on getting this all put together.
Thank you very much, Lee. I've just have written confirmation from Don Owens in the Great Pacific Northwest, also from former NWA President Bob Geigel. They've signed up. We're all ready to go.
Spectacular. And I know one of the men that has actually had to put this all together, the attorney from Ryan and Ryan, Bob Ryan. I know you've had your work cut out for you just getting all these gentlemen together to agree on the paperwork.
Well, it certainly has been an exhausting experience, but one that's been well worth it. I can announce now, having reviewed all of the contracts, that all of the T's have been crossed, all of the I's dotted, and all of the promotions are under contract to stage the event. I want to congratulate Stanley Blackburn and all of the other promoters for putting this fantastic card together.
Fantastic indeed. December 13th from Chicago, Super Clash 3. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday night tonight is always at the Coliseum. And, partner, let me tell you, I love this kind of night. You're going to have at least 7 matches in that tournament that's going to be going on that'll be taking place to establish a new CWA Tag Team Champion. The title's open, but the old champs, the Rock and Roll RPMs, they want them back. What kind of competition? Boy, let me tell you. They got Jeff Jarrett and Brickhouse, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden. Here's a team you better look out for. Phil Hickerson and Mean Mike Miller. He's a newcomer, but we know him by reputation. Gary Young, Cactus Jack. And then you've got that final event. Boy, is this going to be a dandy. Jerry the King Lawler and a guy that's no stranger to him, tough as nails, and that is Nature Boy Buddy Landell. Let's take a listen now to see what the King had to say.
Well, you know, I'm sure a lot of you people are familiar with the song by Tom T. Hall. It's called The Winner, where he says, I love winners when they cry, and I also love losers when they cry. And, brother, let me tell you, there hadn't been more crying done in this state in the past 10 years than Buddy Landell has done since I beat him with this World Heavyweight Championship at stake. Now, I don't know how he got it done, but apparently, you know, I guess they say the wheel that squeaks the loudest gets oiled first. Well, he must have cried, he must have begged, he must have pleaded to every championship committee, every promoter, anybody that would listen, that he got a shaft. That's what he said. He got shafted in the match. Let's make it pure and simple. Well, let me tell you something, Buddy Landell. We don't want that to happen, do we? So you come on back and you try one more time for this AWA World Championship, but I'm going to tell you this time, I'm not going to be content just to pin your shoulders 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hurt you, brother, real bad. And if I have to burn you up in the process, I'll do that too.
Yeah, King's been down the road. He's seen a lot of tough guys. Nature Boy says you ain't seen Buddy as tough as I am, and that'll be coming up Wednesday night in Evansville. Yes, we're ready to go to the ring right now as our final 6-man match coming up. Oh, no.
Oh, look at this coming in here. Look at that. Yeah. Phil Hickerson. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, nothing personal, Phil.
Hey,
you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of one of them gorillas out of Gorilla in the Mist carrying their little offspring around.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, now back to business.
Yeah. All right, well, we got 1,500 pounds of wrestlers going to be in the ring in this one right here. Introducing, first of all, at a total weight of 741 pounds, out of Miami, Florida, Brickhouse Brown. Out of Detroit, Michigan, Scott Steiner. And out of Orlando, Florida, Brian Lee. Going against him at a total weight of 781 pounds. Out of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, Cactus Jack. From Little Rock, Arkansas, gorgeous Gary Young. And from Jackson, Tennessee, Phil Hickerson. Downtown Bruno's in their corner. And Jerry Calhoun says, let's go with it.
How good my daddy treats me, carries me out there, Lancer.
Yeah.
I love being a Hickerson.
I am sure delighted for you, too, Downtown Bruno. I couldn't wish anything more on you. Cactus Jack and Brickhouse Brown get it going in here. Gotta say, Dave, we got an excellent team on the other side, and Brick and Steiner and Brian Lee. But if I were having to say who was a favorite, it'd have to be the Stud Stable team.
I would agree with that. Stud Stable has to be considered the favorite in the match, but they're primed for an upset with that team that's looking across the ring at them. They are certainly capable of upsetting the Stud Stable in this match.
Brickhouse Brown had a reverse chin lock on Cactus Jack. He now turns it over to the muscle man from the Motor City, Scott Steiner, who quite an amateur background at the University of Michigan. And this, well, I tell you, that's like a big 18-wheeler running over you when he hits you with a shoulder, because he has got some shoulders.
Scott Steiner round behind Cactus Jack. Referee was checking to make sure that hole was not on the throat. It was not. It was on the chin. Perfectly legal. Nothing wrong with it. Cactus Jack jabbed an elbow into the ribs of Scott Steiner. Steiner, good move. Takes him down as he came back off the rope.
Cactus Jack was coming rolling out with his shoulder to nail Steiner. Steiner sidestepped him, scissored that leg, took him forward, and now has him down, slims him on the mat. Got a one. Oh, he got him again. Hey, he couldn't pick up that much weight by the hair, Bruno. He's just too strong and big. Rolled back up again on the shoulders, but this time Cactus Jack, wrestling out of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, shakes it loose and makes the tag on gorgeous Gary Young, who ties it up with Scott Steiner. The only one we haven't seen in the ring from Steiner's side is young Brian Lee, and on the other side, Big Phil Hickerson. Woo!
Gary Young climbing back up on his feet after Scott Steiner gave him a free ride across the ring in the air. Over near Steiner, Lee, and Brickhouse's corner. And here comes Brian Lee. He's out of Orlando, Florida. And he grabs Gary Young's arm and wraps it up. Well, he put a double twist on that arm. And you could hear Young yelling all the way outside the building.
He's a pretty sizable young man, this Brian Lee is, and he has got some big arms on him, and we're going to have to find out a whole lot more about him before we determine exactly how far along he is in his wrestling career. But what we have seen of him, he had looked good up until that moment when Phil Hickerson slipped a foot right in his back as he bounced off the rope.
Yeah, but Lance, it's like Mama says, it bees that way sometimes.
I've heard that before, Bruno.
Well, you're going to hear it again. You're going to hear it for the next 22.7 years because downtown Bruno is out here with Cactus Jack, Gorgeous Gary Young, and my daddy, Big Phil Hickerson.
Hickerson, a big elbow right to the chest of Brian Lee, takes him off his feet, and Big Phil picks up Lee, as big as he is, just turned him over in the air, slammed him down, crams his head into the mat, and casually tags Cactus Jack.
That's the power, baby.
Yeah, we know about the power.
I can't wait for the tournament. There's going to be all kind of belts floating around the stable, baby.
Cactus Jack back in there working on Brian Lee. He snapped his neck. Brian Lee up on his feet again, and Cactus Jack just knocked him back down. Looked like he got him in the throat, too. I don't know. He's got his shoulders down. Count of 2.
Yeah. Caught him with that short clothesline and slammed it in. Dutch Mantell is famous for that move. Gary Young plants a big foot right in the midsection of Brian Lee, who is now catching a right hand. Come on, ref. I understand you can't control it all, but at least let him know it's illegal. And out of the way goes Brian Lee, and a tag on Brickhouse Brown.
Oh, boy. Brickhouse against Hickerson. We got all 6 of them going in there at the same time. Brickhouse presses Hickerson down to the mat. Bruno up on the apron. And Brickhouse went after it. Look out. Hickerson has got a chain wrapped around his hand. Brickhouse ducked under it. Brickhouse has got the chain. Referee calls for the bell to be rung. Disqualification on Hickerson for bringing the chain in the ring. Now you watch. Hickerson's going to claim Brickhouse brought it in.
Hey, he brought a chain. He brought a chain. Don't be telling us. We saw who had it. Yeah, I'm sure. It's Brickhouse's now, but it wasn't, as they end up with a disqualification win. Brickhouse, in the first fall of the action, Brickhouse, and we're going to have to check the clock and see about the time, but Brickhouse ends up with the chain, but the referee saw what we saw. Phil Hickerson brought it in, Davey.
Absolutely. So the win in the first fall goes to Brickhouse, Scott Steiner, and Brian Lee in 5 minutes, 11 seconds.
Okay, we're going to take time out, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, a disgruntled group coming back in here from the stud stable. They got disqualified because of Hickerson and that chain, and we're ready to go with the second fall of action, David.
Boy, we should have run them through metal detectors on the way in here, too. What is discussion going on here? What? They want Brickhouse search. Yeah. You better search Hickerson if you're going to search anybody. He's the one that they found with 25 pounds of steel chain on him.
Bring the scales over here and weigh Hickerson in and see whether he's got that whole bunch of chains over here. The first fall, regardless of all of their objection, is going to be a victory for Brian Lee, Scott Steiner, and Brickhouse Brown. And there it is. Well,
how does
my face red? Brickhouse did have the chain. I never said Brickhouse was a saint. I'll put it that way. Well, he had Hickerson's chain.
He had Hickerson's chain. That's exactly what happened. Well, okay.
See that, Lance?
Yeah.
See that, Lance? Brickhouse Brown come to the ring with a chain, wanting to cheat. See what I mean, Lance? A bunch of cheaters. The only one in professional wrestling that don't cheat is the stud stable. You know that?
Yeah, downtown. Okay, Phil Hickerson standing side headlock on Scott Steiner as we're off and running in the second fall.
Oh, look at that. Hickerson went to the tights, and in that right hand, he's got a chain. He just nails Scott Steiner with a chain. He passes it out of the ring
to downtown Bruno Hickerson. Gary Young picking up on Scott Steiner and snapping him off the rope while the referee's trying to check out find out how much artillery that Hickerson brought in with him. Tag on Cactus Jack. Ripping forearm on the back of Scott Steiner. He whips him in and catches him with an elbow. Steiner goes down, but so did Cactus Jack. One! He didn't make it work.
No.
Wrestling at its finest, Lance Russell. You know, everything's going here in the CWA. Everything is just rolling along. You got some of the greatest talent in the entire world in the CWA. You got
We got less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes to wrestle here.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, here's another one. There it is, right here by it. Now, the referee didn't see it.
He just threw it right over here.
Threw it over here. Downtown Bruno, sitting on the desk right here, had the chain.
And now he hands it back to Hickerson.
Yeah.
Yep, just handed it back to Phil.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to listen to you either. Come over here. You're lying about them having a chain. You had the chain and gave it right back to him. Okay, in the ring right now, Scott Steiner bringing that arm of Cactus Jack up, and he really is working on it. Whips him across the ring. Picks him up. That side saddle slam. Boy, he pounded him down.
Great move by Scott Steiner. Gary Young planted a foot in his head, though, as he jumped into it. Looked like Steiner was going to come up with an advantage, and no, that couldn't happen for the stable. They had to come in and team up 2 against 1. We got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left in the time limit. Brickhouse Brown off the top rope. He wraps up the arm, flips Gary Young over, sits down on the left arm.
Holding on to an arm bar in there, Brickhouse Brown on gorgeous Gary Young. No, I'm telling you, you're sitting over here and anybody participates in passing those chains in and out of there like that, Bruno.
Well, then I won't pass no chains. I'm just over here to talk. I just want to talk about the CWA. I want to talk about everything that's going here. A tournament for the Tag Team Championship coming up, which I'm looking forward to. To bring more belts to the stable. We're talking about Jeff Jarrett is the world-class light heavyweight champion, which I tell you what, I don't see eye to eye with Jeff, and I don't like him, and the stable don't like him, but he's got a lot of talent, and I love it that he's got that title. There's one more championship here in the CWA for us to go for, and I love it.
Okay. 3 minutes left in the time limit. 3 minutes left in the time limit.
Gorgeous Gary Young in the ring with Brian Lee as the big young fella from Orlando. More than holding his own with a tough veteran. Look at that Young going for the eyes. Come on, ref. Everybody jumps on the poor ref. We just well, too. But, man, you get tired of these guys doing that stuff. Now, I know they try not to disqualify and shoot from the hip on that. But look at this. Look at Hickerson. Sitting over here while the referee's trying to keep Young and Steiner apart. Hickerson and Cactus Jack are tearing this kid from Florida to pieces. Hickerson choking him with a chain. Cactus Jack slap. Oh, don't give us that stuff.
We got 2 minutes left in the time limit. 2 minutes to go, and time will expire.
Hickerson Hickerson is true. Downtown Bruno Hickerson grabbed the head and snapped him off the rope. Phil covers one, but he can't hold him down. Tag, and this time it's gorgeous Gary Young.
Young and Brian Lee about the same size. Young with a little bit of a height advantage, I think. Hard to tell. They're both tall, rangy, both up way in the 245 area. Cactus Jack. Boy, all of them in the stud stable seem to be big, except Bruno. Jack, he caught him with that clothesline.
Boy,
there's a cover.
He got up in the air on him, and he really took him down, too.
We got 1 minute in the time limit. 1 minute left, and then we'll have to ring the bell. Brian Lee fired into the rope. Phil Hickerson just knocked him down. Hickerson was flying through the air. Lee was, too. There's a tag by Phil. 30 seconds to go.
Brian Lee fighting his way back till Hickerson catches him from behind, and now Lee makes a tag on Brickhouse Brown as they are really scrambling with everybody in that ring. Our time is running out. The
right, he goes to the desk area here. There goes Gary Young, this Jack, making his way out there.
They got in one last little shot to the hindquarters of Mr. Cactus Jack as he was falling out. The wind is going to go to Brickhouse Scott, and we got to get out here, Davey.
Next
week,
week.
everybody next. Bye-bye, everyone.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than the station, namely Motor Championship Wrestling.